Welcome, how are you, Confidenciales? Thank you for being there, and get ready because what we're going to tell you today is going to change Rodriguez Zapatero's legal situation, and for the worse, if that's even possible. The exclusive information we've accessed puts things from a different perspective, shows where everyone stands, and you start to understand what happened. The pieces are starting to fit together. These 15 years make sense, during which Rodriguez Zapatero, both while he was in Moncloa and after, negotiated, acted as a lobbyist, and took a cut from countless companies. But the Plus Ultra case is not just another case, it's not just another bailout or just another kickback. The Plus Ultra case changes everything, and today we're going to tell you the secret, the big secret that Rodriguez Zapatero is afraid of. Will it be made public before Judge Calama or the anti-corruption prosecutor Luzon? We have obtained this information from one of the main sources, the most reliable investigative sources regarding the schemes surrounding the corruption of the PSOE, Sanchez, and Zapatero. The source is completely reliable. We will keep her anonymous as she has requested, and what we are going to tell you here today could change the course of the investigation being carried out by the National Court. This is not just another news story. It has never been published before. This is not just another leak. It has not been investigated by the UDEF or the UCO, and I hope that after our report, they will start pulling at that thread. I was telling you that Zapatero is terrified, and it's not because of what might happen to him as a kickback middleman or lobbyist. No, he doesn't care about that. Sanchez is in power to cover for him, so that the prosecutor's office doesn't accuse him, so that the president of the Constitutional Court overturns his sentence, or even Sanchez, or who knows, maybe Feiju in the future pardons him. Zapatero isn't afraid of being accused of being a middleman. He already takes that for granted. He's afraid that what we're going to tell you here today will be discovered. Julio Martinez knows it, and so do the apparent owners. The owners of Plus Ultra and everyone else, all of them have made a deal with the prosecutor's office to reduce their sentence and avoid prison in exchange for telling what they know and following the lead. But they haven't pulled this thread yet. I understand that it's their last card, the last lifeline to avoid their sentences. Today we're going to give you a preview so you can start laying the groundwork that will stitch together this case, possibly the most serious corruption case in the history of Spain. We knew that Zapatero was a bad manager as president, that he ruined Spain. He acted like a moralist giving advice. He set himself up as the defender of human rights, the mediator in Venezuela. It was all a facade. Deep down, today we're going to discover the real Zapatero here in a minute. Only €2.03 a month. Protect yourself with CyberGhost VPN. Ladies and gentlemen, today you're going to hear this story before anyone else. It started back in 2011, when the current president of Movistar Plus introduced Julito Martinez, and he took him to Moncloa to meet the president, President Zapatero. He stopped being president at the end of that same year, but he was still at Moncloa. It was Zapatero who told Julio Martinez the tasks he had to do. It was Zapatero who introduced him to Adelcy Rodriguez. He was the one who told him to buy a property we have in Almeria in the town of Vera and to set up shell companies there. Let's start building a network that ended up, as you know, with 39 companies doing business on his behalf. He was the one who pointed out who needed to be hired. He had the contacts, he closed the deals, and Julio Martinez did the minor tasks, like going to see the clients and tying up the loose ends of the deals. That's why Julio Martinez made so many trips on Adelcy Rodriguez's plane, many more than we knew, on the official plane. Those trips started in 2012 when Hugo Chavez was still around, although he was about to die, and they continued after his death with Nicolas Maduro in power, with Zapatero acting as an intermediary in Venezuela. The business deals multiplied. Always Julito Martinez, his front man on Adelcy Rodriguez's plane, closing deals. Until we get to the year 2019, in which Zapatero participates and founds the Puebla Group, together with Jorge Rodriguez. Pay attention because this person is crucial. Zapatero's great friend was not Adelcy. It was Jorge. We've mentioned it here before. Now we can confirm it. Jorge Rodriguez was as thick as thieves with Zapatero. He was the preferred partner, the personal friend of Rodriguez Zapatero. He defended both brothers, the corrupt pair Adelcy and Jorge Rodriguez, until just a few days ago. In an interview on Onda Cero,
Adelcy Rodriguez and her brother Jorge. Or either one of them. Personal friend, yes.
Yes, of course. Personal friend.
Yes? Doesn't it bother you to be a personal friend of two people who run a repressive regime?
Personal friend. Personal friend. I know very well what they do, what they've done, how they've supported me in these efforts to free prisoners. I know, in a very difficult context. And of course, I will defend that friendship. That's the least I can do. And in this, well, besides, that's it. Since everything will come to light, right? Little by little. Calm down. It's just that those who, I was saying, those who free the prisoners are the ones who before put them in. No, they were in that government. But no, come on, the opposite. They were always against it. On my side. They were almost always on my side. Trying to make sure that policy of repression, it wouldn't be carried out, and trying, when it happened, helping me, and others too, I mean. So, sometimes President Lula was there too, and others have been there. No.
That great friendship, it made them reach agreements in some companies. Venezuelan ones. Yes, Rodriguez Zapatero and Jorge Rodriguez are partners in more than one company, and in one especially, which I will talk to you about today. In it, the president of Plus Ultra, the airline company, is Julio Martinez Sola. He is one of those who has agreed with the prosecutor's office to tell everything. And he has admitted that he paid Zapatero a commission, that it was Zapatero who helped with the rescue of the company, and something more. He told the judge that most of the capital of the company, Plus Ultra, had ties to Chavismo, but he didn't say who. Today, yes, today you are going to find out who the real owners of the company Plus Ultra are here. The alleged frontmen for those real owners would be Ramon Antonio Gordillo, Ramon and Camilo Ibrahim Isa. We have talked about them. Each of them represents one of the real owners of the company. Ramon Antonio Gordillo held about 20 positions in the government of Hugo Chavez and Maduro. He was Venezuela's ambassador to Norway, president of the Foreign Trade Bank, and according to Polo Carvajal, the one in charge of paying cash to Podemos to finance the party. The other alleged frontman for the other real owner of Plus Ultra is Camilo Ibrahim Isa. A Lebanese businessman, he is the representative in Venezuela for major brands such as the Inditex franchise. He also has many businesses in the food and real estate sectors. It's curious because this Ibrahim used to walk around the Spanish embassy as if it were his own home, using the space of the Spanish embassy in Caracas to close his deals and agreements. The CNI, the Spanish National Intelligence Center, focused on him and discovered that he was passing information to Maduro about what was happening there, about what was being discussed, about what was talked about during lunches and dinners at the embassy, so they ended up banning him from entering the Spanish embassy. But who brought him back? Who reinstated him? Rodriguez Zapatero. It was his man who put him back in an important position to maintain his businesses through his influence. Gentlemen, we will tell you who the real ones are, the real owners of the company Plus Ultra. They are not any of those who are testifying before the judge, nor, as was said and rumored, Delcy Rodriguez and Celia Flores. Remember, we mentioned this rumor more than once. No, it's none of them. According to our informant, who is absolutely trustworthy and highly respected, the owners of the company Plus Ultra, the real ones, are Jorge Rodriguez, brother of Delcy Rodriguez and president of the assembly in Venezuela, and Jose Luis Rodriguez Zapatero. So Ramon Antonio Gordil would act as a frontman, allegedly for Jorge Rodriguez, and Camilo Ibrahim Ibrahimisa as a frontman for Rodriguez Zapatero. The pieces are starting to fit together. Why was Zapatero so interested in having Plus Ultra bailed out? Why did he push so hard, as Coldo Garcia told the judge, for that bailout? Why did he occupy the offices and pressure Pedro Sanchez until he got the 53 million talasas? Because he was doing it for his own company to cover with that money loans they had taken from different tax havens. Did they try to hide that ownership with this contract, the 1% contract, which says that Julito Martinez and his company would get 1% commission for closing the deal? That 1%, according to our information, wasn't for the owner, nor for Jorge Rodriguez, nor for Zapatero. That would be absurd. It was for Rodriguez Zapatero's daughters. And it's true that the document was signed, but the commission wasn't collected until 2026. The investigation believes it happened that way because of media pressure. The rescue kept appearing in the media constantly in 2022, 2023, or 2024, and it was put off until later. Knowing what we know today, that the real owners of Plus Ultra would be Jorge Rodriguez and Rodriguez Zapatero. That contract was nothing more than a tool to reinforce the theory that Zapatero was a commission agent, not the owner of the company. That's why the commission was collected very late, in 2026. This is the secret that none of those who have made a deal with the prosecutor's office have told the judge yet. Julito Martinez knows it, the owners of Plus Ultra know it, but none of them have confessed it, neither to Prosecutor Luzon nor to Judge Calama. They're beating around the bush. The judge said so. He says, "You're not telling me everything you know, nor the connections with the Sanchez government that allowed the rescue, nor this, which is the real secret of the story. The best kept. How many more companies does Rodriguez Zapatero own together with Jorge Rodriguez? How many businesses does he have around the world, in Venezuela, in Spain? Besides the airline, does he own oil companies? Does he have gold mining businesses? It is urgent to investigate the real business relationship between Jorge Rodriguez and Rodriguez Zapatero to get to the bottom of this plot. He was not just a lobbyist. He was not just a commission-taking middleman. He was the owner. At least according to the information given to us by our absolutely reliable source, whom, by the way, you surely know. Someday I hope to be able to interview him so he can tell it openly and in detail. I'm sure our informant has the evidence to prove what we're telling you here today in this exclusive. You browse safely with CyberGhost. Castillon Confidential by Albert Castillon.